when I was like 16 years old, I told I'm going to own any restaurant in the world one day.
What was the moment that kind of sparked your interest in cooking at the very first start?
I was in secondary school back then, doing a cooking contest, and Chef Jimmy Chok was one of the jury that actually spotted me out in school, and I participated in this competition, and I actually won the first round, and then that sparks my career, and like, why not? When you win something, you always want to do it more.
I think Jimmy was the first chef that actually invited you to his restaurant kitchen, right?
Yes, exactly.
What was that visit like? Do you remember?
It was spectacular. When I went there, I saw the chef cooking and stuff like that, and I was too young to work in his restaurant back then. So I told myself, after the day trip, I told myself and I told my parents, I said, when I'm done, I'm going to become a chef. I'm going to contact him again.
So what would you say is the recommended path for someone who wants to be a chef like you?
So you go to a place that you will suffer, but you will learn a lot. And that's why I always believe in the start of my early career.
I think the last time we spoke about, you also said that you have a very strong competitive streak, right?
Yeah, for me, a competition is healthy. So it forces yourself to be better. I love to compete so much. Like I say, if I have a restaurant and somebody has a restaurant beside me or opposite me, he get the accolade, I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to beat you.
When you were offered the job at Re-naa, you had already been seeking a job for 6 months.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind at that time? Maybe before you actually received the offer. Were you nervous? Were you stressed out?
Back then in 2016, Michelin was not in Singapore yet. As a young chef, I was like, you know what, if I want to be the best, I need to work overseas. It's like Europe. Europe is where all, like France, the gastronomy is there, everything is there, and the Nordic region has always been the best chef in the world with the Bocuse store.
Yeah, it's like the culinary mecca.
Exactly. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to send with a very weak CV, back then I was like, I'm going to try my luck. So I plot Germany, Norway, Sweden, every different places and send out multiple CV, and Re-naa actually offered me the job. For me, I didn't even think the second thought. I was like, when can I come? As soon as possible. When the visa is there, I pack my bag and we go with a very focused mindset to actually succeed in overseas. Actually, so I didn't think much. I just go and we see what it takes from there.
And before you applied to Re-naa, did you know about the restaurant?
Yes, I know because there's 1 or 2 Singaporeans that's worked there before, and then they came back. They're like, oh, it's a tough place to work, and stuff like that. And I was like, fantastic. I'm going there.
Tough is good for you.
Exactly, because the thing is, if a chef don't teach you or somebody is not willing to share their knowledge with you or tell you that that's wrong, then it's not the right place to do. So for me as a young chef, it's nice that somebody tell me, hey Matt, this is wrong, and then you will be okay. You go back home, you think the next day, and then you come back stronger than ever.
And when you packed up to go to Norway, or Stavanger in particular, which is where the restaurant is, you only had $500 in your bank account. Tell us about that experience.
So when I went there, I didn't think so much. I have saving, bought the ticket there, pay a little bit of deposit over there. I live with three other people, which is their tattoo artists. So my main goal is to go to Norway, work as hard as possible, and come back stronger than ever. That's the only goal. So no party, no nothing. Every day, just go to work, come back home. That's it.
And Re-naa was your first culinary job overseas.
Yes.
Where did you start in the restaurant, and how did you grow from there?
I started off in the fine dining restaurant in, I think, the cold section. I start slowly, and then I move on to different section. And Chef Re-naa, the co-chef owner of Re-naa, and he actually gave me a lot of opportunity, and that's how I grow in Scandinavia.
What do you think was the best advice he has ever given you?
He always taught me the small little details that normal chefs don't think about. The last touch, the small details, the flavor, and all these things. And until today he was like, Matt, it's the taste, it's the flavor. No point doing 20, 30 items on the plate. 2 things on the plate, flavor comes as always. Even when I'm going to compete for the Bocuse store, he is still emphasizing this. Don't put 20 flowers on the plate. It doesn't make sense. You just go clean.
Simple.
Simple but flavor and impactful.
And now your restaurant recently received its third star.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But I must imagine that the pressure is quite immense for you to maintain these 3 stars.
I think about stress and everything, we just go along the way, and we always need to improve ourselves and stick to the game.
Is that how you usually deal with stress and pressure? You
No,
take
I love
as
it, you know. I love it.
You love suffering, you love competition, and you love stress.
I mean, if there's no stress, then there's no point doing this.
You won't progress, right?
Yeah,
if
you
there's no
won't.
stress.
Yeah, you won't progress. I like to keep my head running at all times, and the high pressure.
So you're representing Singapore at the Bocuse for the second time. What are your feelings about that, and how are you preparing for it?
First of all, I'm always excited, and this will be how I said my final journey in the competition career. I have a very strong team around me. You know, but the Bocuse is highlighting on one person in the country. For me, it's all about a team effort. Without the team, you will never be successful. You will never make it to the podium. And we are preparing well. And September is our contest in China, in Shenzhen.
It's the Asia finals, right?
Exactly, the Asia final. So looking forward to be back with my team to start training again.
And you mentioned that you have quite some renowned names in your team, right?
Yeah,
Representing
yeah.
you with Singapore.
I mean, the team Singapore has gathered all the best chefs in Singapore. We have Chef Julian Royer is our coach for the Bocuse, and Chef Bruno Menard is the president, and Chef Sebastian Lepinois, Chef Kirk from from Jan, and all these people, they are all coming together to support me in the Bocuse. So it's an A team, you know, I can say.
It sounds like an A team, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, the last time we spoke, you said that you wanted to start your own brand.
Hopefully, things are going well, and we can do something different.
I think your goal was like what, 20 restaurants or something?
That's always my childhood dream, you know. It's always, I don't know why it came out with 20, but it's always my childhood dream. I'm going to open 20 restaurants. When I was like 16 years old, I told I'm going to own 20 restaurants in the world one day.
It's just a random number, right?
Just a
20
random number, and
restaurants.
my dad was like, yeah, don't be too ambitious. Like, you know what, I'm going to make it. I like it, you know, when he provokes me, you know, I love it.
And you also said that you hopefully want to slow down by the time you turn 45.
There's always been a dream, but the people around me, even my wife, don't believe it. You know, at certain point of time, at certain age, I think it's time you need to let go a little bit to help the younger generation to move forward, and that's how the world evolves.
Do you think you will ever retire from this job then? It doesn't sound like you will.
I don't think I will retire fully, but I think I will definitely let go a little bit. Depend on my wife, you know. So
Depends on your wife.
yeah.
I understand that your wife actually schedules your day.
Yeah, my wife schedules my daily schedule every day. Every day, even when back then she was not in Norway and she was in Singapore, she still scheduled my day. What hour you need to go to this restaurant? What hour? Yeah, she's scheduling every single thing. So when I come back to Singapore every time to do the promotion, four hands dinner, she has an hourly schedule for me to make sure I have be on sharp.
What do you think your wife will say when it comes to being married to a chef?
You know, before we got together, I really warned her. You need to test a little bit, and she already understand it. She already understand it, but time is always the challenge for me. People say you marry a chef or you can stay at home. They cook for you and stuff like that. Trust me, I don't cook at home.
Does she cook at home?
She cooks at home. She cooks at home. Because I don't eat the whole day normally. So whenever time I come back, she will cook some, in Norway, she will actually brew some of my favorite ABC soup or something, you know, and all this stuff. So when I come home, we will have dinner together and spend quality time together before we go to bed. Now I told her, you know what, every Sunday, I'm going to cook now.
Now that you have been a chef for, as I mentioned, nearly half your life, what would you say to your younger self?
If I can tell my younger self, I will be more focused, and then I will have more than what I have today. Because I am never satisfied, you know. Every day I'm still asking my wife, have I done enough in my career, or enough in what I'm doing now? This is what I would tell my younger self. And go over, work as hard as possible as well, and make it in the big future.